Friends, a very happy good morning. Thank you, Ramu sir, the chairman, for the invitation. In fact, in the month of March, we were planning for a bank audit seminar, but somehow we could not make it because of the pandemic corona. Anyway, thanks, Chairman sir, for the invitation again. Thanks, Balaji sir, and other members of the Tirupur branch of SARC. So, without taking much time, let me directly jump into the session. Friends, in today's session, I'm going to talk about approximately 10 to 15 features I'm going to cover, right? Which may be very much helpful for you to work on your GST audits, be it income tax audit, or even normal audit when you go for a statutory. Okay, so let me go into the topics. These all are the topics which I'm going to cover in today's session. Generic topics are how to use the custom template. As you know, custom template is something which I can store into my Excel. Whenever it is required, I can simply double click so that I'll get the same format. So when we ask our staff to prepare the financial statements year on year, they prepare the financial statements in a different format. And staff to staff, the format is different. So if that is the case, how can we have a template? That means how can we have a pre-formatted Excel so that I can distribute to all my staff whenever they want, they can simply double click so that they get the template. That is what the point I'm going to cover. Usage of the custom list. Custom list purpose is entirely different as per the Excel. However, as a chartered accountant, I can use the custom list as a brain. That means I can store something in the custom list. Whenever I want, I can retrieve the things back. Then we'll talk about something most important, extract the file names from a folder. Friends, you all must understand these all are the topics which I am covering because maybe since last 1 month or 1.5 months, all whoever the chartered accountants asked me for a help to work on a particular case study. I have compiled all those case studies and I kept as a small examples. So these all are most practical. So extract the file name from a folder. Let me tell you the background of this particular item. One chartered accountant called me and he asked that, Sharon, I have all the invoices in the PDF format in one folder. How to get the file names, all the file names in a particular folder? That is what his question. So he was initially looking for something, a different application. Then I told him, don't worry, in Excel itself, we can extract all the file names from a folder. So you will get to know how simple it is. Then there are simple couple of magic features are there when you have a big formula how to track with an inbox. When you have a bank statement description, I'm sure everyone will connect to this fifth topic. When you have a description which is having more than one row, how to join everything together into one single row. That is by using the offset function. Now let me go into the next contents. Today we will be covering more of Power Query. Power Query is something which is an ETL tool. You can extract the data from any source. You can transform the data based on the logics what you have, and you can load back the data into your Excel. So, because we all are working under the remote environment, even our staff are not allowed to sit in our office, they are working from home. I think the best way to communicate with them to get the updates is Google Form. I'm sure everyone knows about the Google Form. Either maybe once or twice you might have filled the details into the Google Form. But when they fill the details into the Google Form, be it my staff, be it my client, how can I get that data into my Excel for the analysis? That is what we are going to cover. How to link our Google Form directly into the MS Excel. Next topic would be extract the file names from all the folders. This is a very peculiar topic. I'm sure you all will connect up. Again, this asked by one chartered accountant. He called me and he asked, Sharon, in my office there is a server. In the server, hundreds of folders are there, hundreds of subfolders are there. Every day my staff are keeping the information and sometimes they mistakenly, instead of pasting a data into one Excel folder into some different folder, sometimes they mistakenly delete the folder. Many a times there is a data which is redundant. Many a times there is a data which is duplicate and so on. How can I get rid of all these problems? Then I told him, you get all the files and folder names into one Excel file, then you have a proper pivot table based on your understanding, then I'm sure your problem will get resolved. That is what we'll get to know using the Power Query. Then when it comes to the other important aspects of the Power Query in the audit, we will take a case study how to console all the GSTR 2A data. Let's say I'm doing an audit of 1819 GST audit, for which I need to compile the entire information of GSTR 2A for 12 months. How to compile this entire information as well as how to do the formatting. This everything can be done simply by using the Power Query. That means if you do the Power Query for one client, for all other client it is automatic. You need not to do the job. So here the meaning of the Power Query is it is acting as a automation tool. Then we'll try to understand when we have a day book from the tally, how can we bifurcate as a samples to different staff and how can we extract the GL from the day book. Then we'll look into the fuzzy lookup concept, how exactly it works. Then we'll go into a simple concept, how can we link our Excel data into the Word. Then finally, we'll go into question and answer. Friends, my session would be approximately 2 hours. So I'll go a little slow. In fact, I shared all these files to Chairman Sir. I'm sure maybe after the session, he'll be circulating with you all. Let me go to the folder. And also, every time whenever I'm going to work on a particular feature, I'll be I'll be saving an entire working file. Later, after the session, I'll send all these working files also with you. Let me go to the first one. Custom template. What exactly meaning of that? Have a look. Just trying to disable my PowerPoint for the time being. Yeah. Friends, as you all know in MS Excel, there are so many different types of the file. Generally, by default, it gets saved into XLSX. As you know, XLSX is basically a spreadsheet, right? When you have M at the end, that means spreadsheet having macro. M means macro, last M. In the same way, we have one more format extension that is XLTX. This means it's a template. When you have a macro in the template, that means it is XLTM template having the macro. This is what I'm going to cover. Now let me open this. Friends, many a times when we prepare the financial statements, each client format is different because X client handled by A staff, Y client handled by B staff, and so on. So it's always a good practice to have a consistency. In fact, the big four versus the small firms, the only differentiation, if you ask me, is the presentation and documentation. Presentation, they are very good. If you look into any big four, whoever preparing the financial statements, almost the format is same. They are very clean. But whereas it comes to the small firms or medium-sized firms, we least bother with respect to the presentation of the financial statements. So if I have 50 MSME clients or 50 mid-sized clients, when I look into the financial statements working file of Excel, it has to be same so that my language will be same. When I'm trying to explain to a staff, even you go to any of the file, you can easily understand how this file is. So generally in my office, this is the way I prepare the format for the financial statements working. First, it will be having an index. So each index is having trial balance, balance sheet, P&L, cash flow statement, balance sheet, cash share capital schedule, balance sheet, other schedules, P&L schedules, fixed assets, adjustment journal entries, any other miscellaneous. There are extra two sheets I have given. This is a hyperlink. Once user click it, he'll go into the tab. This is a trial balance, balance sheet, P&L, and so on. Now let me save this. Normally, what we do to save it, we'll click Control S or else we'll click F12. Now by default, it is trying to save into .xlsx format. Now what I'll be doing, I will take this, I will select Excel TX format. I hope you all are finding this. When you select Excel template, by default, it is taking me into a custom folder. No problem. You can simply click OK. Now, let me close it. This is the place it got stored. Maybe in your Excel, only the username will get changed, but the path is same, right? Now, what is an advantage of this? Now, let me write this file types. What is an advantage of storing the file as a template? Just give me 1 second. Yeah. Now, let me close this. Let me close the entire application. Now, let me open one Excel file. Let's say now for a customer I want to work, for a particular client I want to work, the financial statements. Then what I'll be doing? Simple. I can go to the file tab, go to the new. Friends, you will find two tabs here. One is Office, the other one is Personal. Office is something Microsoft itself has given me so many useful templates. If you go for a amortization template, if you go for a sales invoice template, if you go for a student schedule, so there are so many templates already prepared by Microsoft. But if you click the Personal, let's come down, you will find one template here. If you look into the name, creation of custom template, if I keep my cursor, if I double click this, the same format appeared. Now I can save this for a customer name, then I can start working on this file. Very simple. Now if you want to send, for example, you filled with data, you closed it, now you closed it. Now let's say I opened a new Excel. Can I have the same template again? Yes. Go to the new, go to personal, come down, double click, your format is appearing here. That means your template is permanent as long as your Excel application is there. If I want all my staff has to use the same template, simply I can copy this template and I can send across to all of them. I'll ask them to save it into the same custom folder so that every time that will be available into their file tab, new and personal templates. I'm sure this template method is very important for everyone. And one more important thing, because anyway I'm here, let me tell you, many a times they reshuffle the sheet names, right? Sometimes we need to search where is my sheet name. Balance sheet, sometimes my staff keeps somewhere here. P&L, sometimes they may keep somewhere here. Then balance sheet schedule, they'll keep somewhere as a top, which is nonsense actually, because it is not giving me a glance of my entire data, right? If that is the case, what I'll be doing, please have a look. I'll just take my balance sheet share capital schedule here. Then I want my balance sheet here. Then I want my P&L here. This is the proper sequence of my sheets. I don't want my staff has to move the sheets or delete any sheet or insert any new sheets because that will create a lot of confusion. Then what I'm going to do, I'll be using a concept called protection. You can simply go to the review tab, click protect workbook, give the password. If you read it clearly, you're finding something. Protect the workbook for structure. Structure means sheets structure. Let me click OK. It's asking me to confirm the password. Once I click OK, fine. Now even user is trying to move this. See, when he's holding this with the mouse, when he's trying to move, are you finding there is a small symbol like stop? Even if user go to home tab, if he's trying to insert, nothing appeared. If he's trying to delete, nothing appeared. If he's trying to move, rename, move or copy, tab color, hide, unhide, nothing can be done. That means user cannot insert any new sheet. User cannot delete any sheet. He cannot move the sheet. He cannot copy the sheet. He cannot even rename the sheet, right? Even you right click here, everything got disabled. Don't worry, user can enter whatever he want here because the protection I did not do for the cells, but I have done the protection for the sheets. This is what the method of the template. Okay, so that is the first feature I would like to cover. The second feature is usage of the custom list. Let me open this. Friends, custom list is basically, we know it actually, but we are not sure that it's a custom list name or something, a different name. But we know this concept. For example, when there is a 10, when there is 20, when I drag it, you all know that the answer would be 30, 40, and so on. For example, when I have 80, when I have 70, when I drag this, I'm sure you all know that it's going to be 10 downside. So 60, 50, 40, and so on. Because since these all are the numbers, there is a linear equation which Excel can derive. That means it can get the difference value and it can exactly find the same pattern and it can drag, right? When it comes to the text, for example, when it comes to the text of John, when I drag this down, do you think it's going to give the sequence? Yes, Excel do know this sequence. When I put a full name of this, when I drag this, even Excel knows about this. When I put a day name short, drag it, see Excel knows the sequence. When I put a full name of the day, when I drag it, even Excel knows the sequence. Let's say when I put Saran Kumar or else simply Saran. When I drag it, do you think my best friend name will come? Let's say Ramu sir is my friend. Do you think Ramu sir name will come? No, because Excel doesn't know that myself and Ramu sir are good friends, right? Because these four are already stored in the custom list. That's the reason these values are coming automatically. First of all, let us see where these values got stored. It's very simple. You can go to the File tab, go to the Options, go to Advanced. Let me come down, Edit Custom List. These are the place where you can find all those four. Don't worry, it got repeated because there was a small bug. But ideally, those all four items are already here. You cannot edit this because this is same throughout the world. You cannot change the sequence of the days and sequence of the months. But if you want to have a new list, now let me have Saran, Balaji, Ramu, then let me take Rajnikant, right? Now let me add. So along with these custom list values, I've added these four also. Now what happened? When I take Jan, when I drag it, I got the remaining items. Now when I take Saran, when I drag it, do you think other values will come? Of course. When I take it Rajnikant, do you think other names will come? Yes. When I take Balaji, do you think other names will come? Yes. This is the way the sequence works, right? If this case study is working, I'm sure I can use the same thing for many cases. Now, let's say these all are my staff names. They're having each staff having their own ID and phone number, email ID. Now, let me select this. Let me go to File tab. Let me go to Options. Go to Advanced. Let me come down. Edit Custom List. You can import this because I cannot type these many items, right? When you are just selecting this area, when you are clicking import, Excel is asking one logical question. Saran, do you want to import each column as a separate list or each row as a separate list? I can consider each row as a separate list. Let me click OK. Check it out. All those lists appeared. Now if I click OK, OK. Let's say suddenly I want to know one of my staff phone number and email ID. It's very simple. Let's take Nagastuti. What I can simply do, I can drag towards right side. Wow. Or else you can even drag towards the downside. I can simply take, let me downside. Just drag this down. Any side it's going to work, right? Simple. Now let's say I have got all the names of my staff. Now let me drag towards the right side. Wow. Because Excel stored this entirely as a list. Even you take Virendra Sehwag phone number and you can drag this down, his other details will come. Please don't note down this number. This is a fake number. Okay. So This is the way the custom list works. I can store any of the information which I feel where I can get by using one item. Friends, where I can be used this. See, there are three sheets which got hidden. Let me unhide the sheets. Unhide another sheet of income tax, unhide another sheet of rules. Friends, I had an index of all my income tax sections. Now, what I can simply do, I can select section name and section name, number and section name. Let me select this entire area. Let me go to File tab. Let me go to Options. Let me go to Advanced. Come down, Edit Custom List. Now you simply import this data. It's asking, do you want to have a row as a list or column as a list? Each row I want to have a list. Let me click OK. Wow. Now, let's say, even let me save this, close it, open a blank Excel. Do you think that entirely got erased? No. Once you add a list into the custom list, that is permanent till your application is there in your system. It's not for one workbook, it is for all the workbooks in your MS Excel. Now, for example, I'm seriously working on some notice received by my client from the income tax department. They mentioned about a section. So, IA income tax act section, it was about, let's say, section 221. I don't know what is the section. So, let me drag this down. Oh, it's a penalty payable when tax in default. Let's say there is a section they also mentioned about 10AA. I don't know what is the section. Now let me drag this down. Or it's a special provision in respect of newly established units in the special economic zone. Let's say I'm doing some analysis. There is a section they mentioned, this 29. I'm not sure what this section is. Let me drag this. Income from profits and gains of business or provision, how computed, and so on. Right? So this is the way you can store a lot of information into your custom list. I'm sure this is very much handy. If I know this technique, I can even take my GST related sections also, select that, go to the file tab, go to options, go to advanced, let me come down, go to edit custom list, import each row as a list, click OK. Wow. Let me even take the rules index. Now let me take this, go to the file tab, go to options, go to advanced. Let me come down, edit custom list, import each row as a list, click OK, click OK. Now, even I can get my CGST sections also. Check it out. I want to know CGST iPhone section iPhone 45. I don't know what is this. This is final written. I want to know CGST iPhone rule iPhone 37. I don't know what this is. Let me drag this down. It's a reversal of ITC. Okay. So let's say a CGST hyphen section hyphen 135. If you drag this, you will get these details as simple as it. That is presumption of culpable mental state. Right? Let me save this file and close it. So I hope you all got the point with respect to the custom list. Very powerful for CAs. Let's look into the third case study. How to extract all the invoice names from a folder, whereas the file name is a invoice name. Friends, in this case, I have taken one folder. It is having all the invoices. Now let me have one more Excel file in the same folder. This is, okay, extract invoice names. Open this file. Friends, till 1994, Excel used to have macro 4.0 concept. They call it as an XLM files, right? From 1994, Excel introduced a beautiful concept called VBA, Visual Basic Application Language. Friends, macro 4.0 is a function based, whereas VBA is a object oriented language. So object based, right? Though we are now using VBA, but still old is gold. Macro 4.0 is still there in our Excel. Have you seen this word anytime? Yes. When we are trying to insert the sheet, when we click here, generally we select the workbook. We never thought of looking what this is. Are you finding here MS Excel 4.0 macro? That means before 1994, if they want to write a coding, they will just take the sheet, they will start writing the functions here. But now people are using the VBA. Though 4.0 is outdated, Microsoft even now supporting this. One of the very important function which I'm covering is files, which is macro 4.0 function. As I told you, it's a function based. Only functions are there to automate a job. What is this function does? Now my job is very simple. Let's say I want to get the extract of all the files in this folder, Control C, Control V. Now let me make it little, yeah, so that you can see the entire path, backward slash asterisk. As you know the meaning of asterisk, asterisk means anything I want in this folder. That means all the files, all the file types, enter, right? Now you go to the formulas, very important, concentrate, go to the defined names. Now I want to give a defined name, files in folder. Now I want to write a small formula here, which is a macro 4.0 function. It's a files. You want to extract the files from which folder? This folder. Close bracket. Concentrate. If I click OK, if I go to name manager, you'll find one name called files in the folder. It is having a function called files. It is referring to this A1 cell. Wonderful. Now what I will be doing now, I'll take equal to files in folder is the defined name. Since I have selected this, because this is having a function called files, having this as a reference, it is selecting this by default. Now if I click OK, my macro 4.0 function will work. What that function does, it extracts all the file names from a folder. Let me enter. Wow. But it came everything into one row. That is horizontal. But if I want to get vertically all these, simple. In Excel, there is a function called transpose, close bracket enter. Very simple technique. People struggle a lot. Many a times when a problem comes, we don't look into the Excel, but we are trying to look something different, which consumes a lot of time. In Excel itself, you can extract the data. For example, now let me put dot PDF. So what will happen? Only the PDF files will come. If I put here dot XLSX, only Excel files will come. If I put dot DOC files, DOC asterisk, that means after DOC it can be anything, right? Or else if I simply delete everything, you will get everything. For example, now I want to know how many files are there in this Control C. Now let me just paste here. Let us see what will happen. Control V. Oops. Control V backward slash asterisk. Take it out. Because this folder is having only three names, right? Those three names are this. If I want to know only PPT, so PPT asterisk. If I want to know only Excel, XLS asterisk. If I want to know only PDF, PDF asterisk. If I want to know only documents, DOC asterisk, nothing is there, not available. Let's say I want to know from my desktop how many files are there. I can simply go to, or else let me go to this folder, Control C. I'll simply go here. Now I can simply do Control V, enter, fade out. I want to take everything, all the files in this on the desktop appeared here. Okay, this is one of the very important feature. You all must understand here a small thing. Since I'm using macro 4.0, I cannot store it to .xlsx format. I have to store in .excel SEM format because it's having a macro inside. Let me save it. Let me close it. That is what my third case study, how to extract all the file names from a folder. Let's look into the fourth one, usage of the name box in case of the big formula. This is also, okay, I am, generally feature which I cover in almost every seminar because this is one of the very important thing, a very important problem we face when we are trying to deal with the formulas. Let's say there is an expenditure schedule here where each GL is there, each expenditure, and with respect to the expenditure, what is the total? I asked my staff to prepare a summary of this. He has prepared the summary. Admin expenses is put together three items, then professional fees three items, other miscellaneous two items, then printing and stationery three, and so on. Friends, this is very simple. Let's say I want to review this file. Then I have to look for C4, C6, C9. So go back to this sheet, C4, C6, C9. Then I have to cross check whether these three items are belongs to admin or not. If yes, this is okay. Then I want to review this. Then I want to review this and so on. But friends, as long as two to three items are there, your brain can easily capture. You can memory, you can remember that very easily. But let's say other expenses is there. This is having more than 10 items. How can you know that whether all these 10 items the user has taken correctly? What I need to do, I have to remember C5, C9, C12, C17, C26. Very difficult. If that is the case, what is the methodology you follow to select all these items? It's very simple. Friends, have a look. When I have 10, when I have 20, when I have 30, when I add all these values here, this plus this plus this, if I want to know what are the precedents to the cell, I can simply go to the formulas, I can click trace precedents. It is an indication for me that these three values are precedents to this formula. Rather, this formula is dependent on all these three cells. In the same way, if I do the same of trace precedents, friends, you will get this blue color arrow only if you are referring into the same sheet, same Excel. When your reference is there in the other sheet, then you will get a black color arrow. Once you double click this, these all are the items, right? Once you select this item, click OK. You can only go to that item. That's all. You cannot go to every item. And also, let me tell you one simple shortcut here, control plus open bracket. As you know, control plus open bracket will select all the precedents. If I do control open bracket, all these three cells got selected. But if I keep the cursor here and if I do control open bracket, it has only selected the first item among all. But I want to select all these items so that I can check it out whether it has really the other expenditure or maybe it is into some other bucket. It's very simple. Please concentrate. I'll just copy this entire formula. Control C. I'll just paste here. Now what I'll be doing, I'll select these two cells. I'll do Control H. Why, Saran, you have selected even the empty cell? In Excel, there is a characteristic that when you select only one cell and do either Control F or Control H, that means it is applicable for the entire Excel work. But when you select an area, then you do either Control F or Control H. That means your operation will be only for the selected area. If I only select this, if I replace plus with comma, that means in this entire sheet, wherever plus symbol is there, that will replace with a comma. That's the reason. Let me select these two so that my replacement will be only for these two cells. Let me do Control H. I want to replace wherever plus symbol is there with comma. Now let me click replace all. What happened? Nothing happened. Wherever plus symbol is there in this case, I just replace with a comma. Now let me do Control C. Let me paste here, Control V. Now what I need to do? Enter. Wow. Once you click enter, it got selected all those items. Now I can start looking into whether these are correct or wrong. There is wrong. What? My staff has taken even outside the range, which is not correct. I can only analyze if I know this technique. Okay, so name box is very powerful. Generally, we don't look into this name box. This is the part we call it as a name box. Name box having some other uses also. Let me tell you one more use. Generally, I want to fill the data in the A1 till A1000 with 10. So what generally we do, we'll select this and we'll keep on press shift down arrow or shift page down, page down, page down. It takes a lot of time for me to reach 10,000. Yes or no? If that is the case, what I'll be doing, I'll just go here. I'll just put A1 colon A 10,000. Enter. Then you write whatever you want, right? Take it out. Or else I want to select B1 colon B1 lakh, B1 colon B1 lakh. Just select it, write whatever you want, check it out. Otherwise, if you want to select manually, it will take a lot of time. This is the advantage of using the name box. That is what the case study of number 4. The fifth case study, I'm sure everyone will connect to this case study again. A bank statement description. In fact, very recently, day before yesterday, I kept in my YouTube channel also, but don't worry, here I'll explain very elaborate. I'm sure everyone once or twice maybe found this problem. When we dump our bank statement into the Excel, the bank statement description may come more than one row. In this case, it is into 3 rows. In this case, it is into 4 rows, 1 row, 2 rows, and so on. I've seen many a times what people does, they'll select this entire data, they'll put the filter, they will select the blanks, they'll only select the blanks, then they will delete. This is a very bad habit because out of your entire bank statement, description is the most important. Description give us a lot of red flag. Description tell us so many things, right? So if that is the case, how can I join the descriptions together? One more problem here is the description is not just 2 rows. Sometimes it is 2, sometimes 3, sometimes just 1, and so on. Even if it is not consistent, how can we join? I'm going to cover this for at least next 10 to 15 minutes. Please concentrate. Now I'll copy this and paste here so that if something goes wrong here, I can go back to my raw data and get it. It's always a good practice. This is a working. First, what I'll be doing, I want to know what is the transaction number. This is transaction number 1. This is transaction number 2. This is transaction number 3. This is transaction number 4. And this is transaction number 5. What I'll be doing, I'll use a simple if function. If this cell is equal to blank, if this cell is a blank cell, what I want, if it is a blank, that means above transaction is repeating. So simply take the above transaction number, comma. If this cell is not a blank, if it is not a blank, there is only a chance that it can be a date. If it is a date, then take this transaction plus 1 because my serial number has to increase. I hope you all got the point, right? So now let me close this. I hope everyone understood this formula. I'm asking a very simple question that if A column value is equal to nothing, then take just the above value. If not, above value plus 1 because my serial number has to increase. Copy this, paste below. Check it out. These 2 are 1, these 3 are second transaction, these 4 are the third transaction, this is the fourth transaction, this is the fifth transaction. Now, I want to know how many rows are there for the first transaction, how many rows are there for the second transaction. Simple. There is a function because I want to count, right? It's a count if function. What count if function? The name itself is suggesting count if based on a criteria. Look into this column for what? For this. Close bracket. In the E column, how many times 1 is coming? Enter. Copy and peace. One is coming 2 times, second transaction is coming 3 times, third transaction is coming 4 times, fourth transaction is coming 1 time, and fifth transaction is coming 2 times. But I don't want any values here. So what I'll be doing? Simple. If this cell, if the cell is equal to blank, don't do anything, simply keep blank. If not, apply this operation, close bracket enter. So that wherever my first value is there, I got to know how many times it is repeating. So one of the very important logic we cracked. Okay, so first what I have done, I got the individual transaction numbers, then I got how many times this transaction is repeating, right? So that means how many rows this transaction is repeating. Now I have to join these two together. In MS Excel, there are a bunch of functions which can does the job of joining. One function is a concatenate function. The other function is a concat function. The other function is a text join function, right? Concatenate function is the oldest function. If I have the data like A, then B, C, D, E, F. If I am trying to use concatenate, take this entire thing. If I enter my answer is a value error because concatenate will never support, concatenate function will never support, will not support range. I'm just trying to give the difference between these three, right? Concatenate will not support the range. Whereas when I take the concat, take it out, you'll get your answer. Concat does support the range. Concat support the range. But what is text join? If you ask a question, Sharan, you are joining all these items together as one after other, fine. But if I want hyphen between each item, or else if I want a space, that's not possible using the concat. Now there is a one more function they introduced is a text join function. What this function does, it is asking Sharan, what is the delimiter you want? I want hyphen. Do you want to ignore the empty cells? Yes, please ignore. If I don't ignore the empty cell, I'll get hyphen again and again, comma. What values you want to join? These values, close bracket, enter. So this is more powerful. Text join does support delimiters, right? So out of all these three functions, the most powerful function is text join, then concat, then concatenate. Friends, concat function introduced in Office 365, or it's part of version 2019 also. Text join is also okay, and this is in 2016 entrepreneur version. This is there since Office, I think version 1999. Okay, since then it is there. So this process you can only do if you have an Office 365. Okay, so here I'm going to use a concat function. Let's try to understand. So what I want to do now, I want to apply the concat for this area. Close the bracket. When I copy this and paste here, it is not taking the third value because here I have considered only 2. When I copied and pasted, it has also considered 2. There is a problem. It has to take 3 automatically. That means these many items it has to take. That means my range must be from B4 till 3 values, not 2 values. When I copy and paste here, it is only taking 2, but ideally it has to take 4. That means from B7 till 4 values. In Excel, there is a beautiful function called offset function which can does this job. What is the offset function? You know, very simple. Let me explain you in a simplest way. Offset is the function. Everyone please concentrate for 2 minutes. Let me zoom in so that you can see this entire thing. Offset is the function which can give you the dynamic array. I want to take the start cell. I want to take A1. I want to move how many rows? Excel is asking 3 rows. I want to move how many columns? I want to move 3 columns. Then can you tell me where Excel will reach destination? Can anyone tell? Yeah, let me answer here. It's very simple. From A1, if Excel moves 2 rows down, if Excel moves 3 columns right side, this is the destination cell. It is D4. Now from the D4, I'm going to have a range. Now I want from the D4, height is 2, width is 2. You know what is the meaning of it? I'm going to have 2 by 2 matrix. So my final range is from D4, 2 by 2 matrix is this. You know what? D4 colon E5. So it is D4 colon E5. That means offset is the function which can work with the dynamic range. In this case also I need a dynamic range. I have to start from here. I have to take these many items. So simple. Now let's go here. Let me write offset function. Offset. I want to start from A1. I don't want to move anywhere 0. I don't want to move any column 0. I want to take, sorry, I want to take one row height, one column width. Can you tell me what is the answer for this? It's very simple. Start from here. I said 0 rows. That means don't move any row. I said 0 columns. Don't move any columns. I said height is 1, width is 1. That means only this cell, because this cell itself is 1 by 1 matrix. My answer is 3 because it's A1. If I take maybe 2, 2, my range will be 2 by 2 matrix, 3, 5, 1, 3. This is what my answer is. If I want to sum everything together, it's very simple. Let's use the sum function so that your answer is 12 because these 4 values. Now if I just take 3, then this is 5. Then do you know how Excel got 40? From here, 3 rows, 5 columns. This is what the 40, this is the 40. Now, can I take the help of offset function? Yes. So, concat. Now, let me have an offset, or else I can simply start with offset. From which cell I want to start? This is the cell, comma. Do you want to move anywhere? No. 0 rows, 0 columns. From this cell, how much must be the height? These many items, that's nothing but this, comma. How many columns you want to consider in the final result? Only 1 column. So my answer is 1. If I enter, so I got 2 values. I want to fill both the values into one single cell. I have to use a concat before this. Copy this, paste here, copy this, paste here, copy this, paste here. That's all. Now what I can simply do, I can have a filter for this. I can just put the filter for the date, not for the blanks. Just copy this entire data. Sorry, just copy this entire data. Go to the new sheet, paste here, right? I'm sorry, Control V you can do. Now I don't want these 2 columns. Just cut this column and paste here. Now this is what my final bank statement. Friends, I have used 3 simple functions here. One is if function, which can give you the transaction number. The second one is a count if function, which can give you how many times the transaction is repeating, how many rows the transaction is repeating. Then I have used the offset function, which is giving me a dynamic range it has to consider for the concat. Concat is the function finally to join together. Okay, this is the case study of number 5. Let's go into the case study of 6. Till now, if anyone having any question, please let me know. Sir, Ramu sir, can we take quickly question and answer for 2 minutes? Because I'm just keep on going. I don't know.
Any members?
Whether members are following.
Questions now. Members, there are questions in the class.
Sorry, sir.
Any questions members can ask?
They can ask question through chat column also.
Yeah, I can see the chat. Okay, no questions as of now. Friends, till now, if you have any question, probably you can ask me. Yeah, sir, can you kindly repeat that files in big? Mm, which one, sir? Siddharth, can you tell me which case study you are looking for?
I think the screen, he is asking about the screen size, sir.
Oh,
Excel
screen size. You want me to zoom every
Yes, sir.
time?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
I'll do that, sir.
Just the Excel screen size or screen mode.
Is it the same, sir?
I think
Function number
can it be in
4.
full size mode, sir?
No, no. He's asking a function number 4. Usage of name box in case of big formula. Is it, sir? Don't worry, I'll explain again. Sir, it's very simple. Now let me close this and let me open that case study. Now let me remove the colors of this. Let me remove this. Sir, for example, I want to track what values are consisting here. So I'll be copying this entire except equal sign, Control C, and pasting here. Then I have taken these two. I've selected one blank cell also below. I've selected one blank cell also below. I did Control plus H. Control plus H means replace. Otherwise, you can go to the home tab and you can click replace. I want to replace plus symbol with comma, replace all. So that, oops, I have not selected it seems. Yeah, let me select these two. Control H, replace all. See, total 9 replacements are there. So that means for this cell, Control C. Now you go to the name box. This is what we call it as a name box. Control V, enter. Now you change the color. Now you need not to go back to the schedule. Simply you can have a glance on
Actually,
what whether it's correct or wrong. Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you. Any other questions till now? Okay.
any other questions, numbers?
Fine, sir. I'll continue.
Yeah, we can continue.
Okay, so let me save and close. Let me go back. I have another 50% of the session. So before going into these two, first let me explain these items. Before explaining these items, let me tell you this is the need of the hour. You all must learn the ETL concepts. The concept of ETL is extract, transform, and load. If I want to learn the ETL tools, I need to install something else? No. Now, ETL is part of our Excel. That we call it as a Power Query. That is Power Query. Then what exactly the Power Query does? Power Query extracts the data from any source, be it Excel, maybe text file, it can be even CSV file, it can be even JSON files, it can be even PDF files, it can be even folders, it can be even XML, any file. It can be even SQL, Access database, web, etc. That means it is your Excel is capable of extracting the data from any source because every time my data may not be into the same source, right? That is the meaning of it. Now, transform. Transform means you can do the logical operations inside. Okay, so transformation techniques can be used in the Power Query. You will get to know what is the meaning of transformation techniques. Load means transform is basically cleaning and transformation both cleaning and transformation. Load means it can load back, load to Excel for analysis. Okay, so these all three together is a ETL. That tool you can find it if you go into the data tab. You'll find a group called Get and Transform Data. If you are using Office 2017, this is not available from 2010 and 2013. It is available as an add-in from 2016. It is part of your Excel. Okay, let me save this. This is a Power Query intro, right? Now close it. Now let me go to consolidation of 2A files. As you all know, in fact, you are maybe good in GST than me, but I'm just trying to explain you how to consolidate. If you look into the 2A, we have a README B2B, then we have B2BA, CDNR, and so on. But I'm only concentrating B2B. The same thing you can be done for all other tabs if data is available. Okay. Now every month data I've taken 2 months data. Okay. Now let me take one Excel file outside. This is nothing but a consolidation of 2A files. Right? Open this file. Everyone please concentrate. Now I'll go to the data. Where are my files are in a folder. I should get the data from a folder. Excel will give you a browse option to select the folder name. Now go to the browse. Now go to the folder 15 features of MS Excel, not this one. It is basically Excel tool for income tax and this one. Now in that consolidation of GSTR 2A is the folder name. Let me click OK. Let me click OK. Now it will load all the files in that folder. Okay. So these many files are there in that folder. Now transform. Okay, what I'll do, I will take, okay, 1 second. This is GSTR2A. These all are the extra files I want to take a little later. Now let me paste here. Okay, now let's say only these two files are there. Now I'll go to the get data from a folder, browse. You can go to the desktop, then go here, go here, then extract the files, consolidation of 2A data. Let me click OK. Let me click OK. It is displaying me only two files. It's okay. Click the transform data. So that means my E part is over, extraction part is over. Now, this is a new editor we have in MS Excel, that's a Power Query editor. This is the ETL editor, all right? It is showing all the commands here in the ribbon menu. This is the place where I can find the content. These all are the queries which, whatever the source data which I'm taking in, and these all are the query settings where I can find all the steps of my transformation, right? Now, what are the steps you're going to do? Now, I want to, where is my data first of all? My data is there, 1 second. My data is there in the binary. Now, I'll simply, either you can just click this or else you can just go here, you can just check it out. Is there any data? In this case, there is no data. Now, let me simply take this. You can simply select this column. I want even this column also because I want to know for which month it is belongs to. Otherwise, let me remove everything. Just simply select this column, click here, remove other columns. That means I don't want any other column because my data is here. Now, once I click this, it's going to combine all the files inside. Now, for the sample, see, check it out, sample file, it is just giving me the first file. In the first file, Excel is saying, Saran, I found so many objects. Which sheet you want to consider? For your information, in the Power Query, objects are basically three types. One is sheet name, the other one is table, the other one is defined name. In this case, I want to consider B2B. Now it is just asking me to evaluate whether this data is correct or wrong. Yes, this data is correct. Now what I can simply do, I can click OK. Now what Excel does, for every file in this column, it will take B to B. Now it's joining. Now check it out. All these steps Excel did at the back end, right? Now friends, this is the data I want to clean up. Now what Excel has done, Excel appended the data one below other. As per the Power Query, combine is two options. One is merge, the other one is the append. Just now Excel did is the append option. Now, wherever nulls are there in this column, I have to delete it. Yes or no? Now let me select this column. Now you can simply click this, sorry, remove rows. I want to remove the blank rows. Gone. Now what I'll be doing, I'll simply right click, or else you can go to the filter, anything you can do. Just go to the filter. You can just click remove empty, right? So all my empty rows are gone. And also, this first row is nothing but my heading, yes or no? So what I can simply do, I can just promote this as a header. Wonderful. Do you think this everything is fine now? No, because totals are also there. See, check it out. For every item below, there is a total. For every item below, there is a total. I don't want a total. So what I'll be doing, just click here. Text filters doesn't end with, because I don't want total, right? It should not end with total. So just click OK. Other than the totals it has taken. Wonderful. Because in this case, there are two files. Even the headings of the second file also came. I don't want these headings. So what I'll be doing, I'll just go here. I will filter out doesn't contain, right? GSTIN. Let me click OK. So my headings also have removed. Friends, this is a very clean data I appended top to bottom. If you want to consider only submitted, you can simply take the submitted. Everyone please concentrate. What are the steps I have done here? This is what a very, okay, blank raw data. In this, I removed all the blank rows. Then I have filtered all the empties. I don't want the empty because it said column 2 not equal to null, please consider. And also, I promoted the headers. So first row I have taken as a header. Then I filter out the totals. Then I filter out the headings. This is the clean data. I want to close this data and I want to load this data back into my Excel. Check it out. This is for 2 months. Now what I'll be doing, the advantage of the Power Query is if I go back, if I take another two files, Control C, now if I go here, if I do Control V, now if I just go back to my Power Query, if I refresh, you know what will happen? Excel does all the transformation steps and Excel is going to give the four files data. If you check it out, go to the data, go to data, queries. Earlier it was only 24, now it is 48 items and it has considered two files. Now, for example, let me take all the files, Control X and Control V, no problem. Now, how many files are there? 12 files are there for all the 12 months. Now, if I go here, if I right click and if I refresh, either you can right click here, refresh, or you can just click the refresh here. If I click the refresh, all the files are loading. One or two values are there. Wonderful. Now you take the books data, then you can start comparing the data. Okay, so if your books data and this data, the common item is an invoice number, you can use the merge concept. However, I'm going to cover the merge concept little later when I talk about the fuzzy lookup. So this is the way you can consolidate any data. This is for one right. Now next time, if you want to do the same thing for the other client, very simple. Just remove this data, just remove this data, paste the other client data, just go here, refresh. Because let it be any client, the format is same as per 2A. So Excel remembers the format and it does all the transformation steps and finally it will give you the final result. So transformation is something where lot of cleanup can happen. So that's the reason, okay, ETL tool are the best tools. Otherwise, for every file, every client, you have to do all these steps. Thanks to VB, thanks to Power Query, once you tell to the Excel what are the steps it has to be followed, all the steps will happen automatically. Let's say later I will remove a couple of items from here. Control X, go here. Let me do Control V, go back. Now only two files are there, right, in this folder. Now you just go here, refresh, only those two files will come. Now it's only 15 items, that's all. Let's say later if you think the folder source got changed, then it's very simple. Just double click this. Just double click this. This is the source, right? Are you finding it? There's a small setting symbol. Click it. You just take a different source. Click OK. Everything will apply. Just close and load. That's all. That is the power of the Power Query. Let me save this and close it. Okay, so that is the Power Query through which we can consolidate all the 2A files. Anyway, I'm going to share this file also with you. Now, let me look into the GL extract for the audit. This is also very important that whenever we have the table, how we are going to segregate to our staff different samples of the vouchers. Please concentrate. I'm just going into this daybook from the channel. I'm not explaining you the part how to uh, format the daybook from the tally into your Excel. That part I'm not covering because of the time, because Excel is ocean where which we cannot just complete in 2 hours. So whatever the important part I'm just trying to cover here. So let's say this is what my daybook, maybe from the tally I've taken up, whatever it is. This is a daybook. Normally what we do, if you want to give a samples to the staff, this is the daybook, right? Now, let's say I have a staff called Saran, I have a staff called Vijay, I have a staff called Vamshi. I want to allocate 50 vouchers to each staff. Then what I do, I'll simply take Saran, right? Saran, I'll put the serial number. I want to give 50 vouchers, 1, 2. Let me drag this down. Let me just drag this down. 50, right? Let's take here. Now my voucher numbers are starting from 1 till 3485. So equal to rand between 1 comma 3485. So that what happened? Excel is going to give me a random number between these two numbers. If I enter, copy and paste, you will get randomly 50 items. Now this is a sample serial number, sample voucher number, sample document number, right? So anyway, these are the samples. Let me put as a document number. 1 second. Yeah. Now these numbers will keep on change when I make Excel active because the nature itself is a random between. When I make Excel active, every formula in Excel will recalculate. If I don't want these values to change, what I'm going to do? Copy, paste special values, click OK. That means Sharon has to review all these 50 vouchers. Then what I am going to do? It's very simple. I'll go here. I'll put a Sharon here. I'll put equal to VLOOKUP. Look for this value where within this column, get me the first column value as an answer. Okay, don't confuse. The formula is very simple. Look for this value where in the Saran sample document numbers, if it is available, give me the same value as an answer. If it is not available, it is NA. What is the meaning of NA? That means this one is not part of the Saran sample. Just copy paste. Now you put the filter. Now you will find some numbers other than NA. That means these all of the samples belongs to Saran. What I will do, I'll just copy this. I'll just go here. I'll just rename it as a Saran samples, then I'll do Control V. Then I'll ask Saran to do the review on this. This is the remarks column I'm going to keep. He's going to keep the remarks for every column. This acts as a documentation also. I'm sure you can put the same thing for documentation. This can act as a working papers. Tomorrow, when you get a question from any of the authority, maybe our institute itself, Sharon, what is the methodology you adopted to do the audit for these all transactions? It's very simple. We can tell them that, see, I have three staff to do this job. So there are 3,400 vouchers are there. Then I've allocated 50 vouchers to this staff and I have allocated another 50 vouchers to another staff and so on. The same job you can do. This is with respect to the document numbers. That's nothing but a voucher numbers. This is a sample methodology. This is okay. But friends, when I want to do a review with respect to the GL, then what is the method we are going to adapt? This is okay. Voucher wise, you are doing the analysis. Let's say I want to look into all the cash related transactions. That means first I want to have all the cash related vouchers. First of all, let us see how many GLs are there in this entire trial balance. Control C, sorry, in this entire day book, Control C, go here, paste special values, then you go to the data, you remove the duplicate. You know what happened? This is the GL. 207 GLs used for 1920 by this company. All right. So 207 GLs are there. Now, out of these 207 GLs, I want to analyze, let's say, GL name. I want to analyze a GL while I'm doing just ledger scrutiny. I found, let's say, something most interesting. I want to know the vehicle insurance. I don't know whether this vehicle is part of this company or not, but I want to see how many entries are there. Or else, let me take something more. I want to know the bank interest. How to get all the vouchers with respect to bank interest here? If you do a VLOOKUP function, if you do a filter of bank interest, let me filter for bank interest, you will only get bank interest related transactions. But other leg where it has posted, I cannot see. That's the problem. But what is my question? Please try to understand. I want to get all the GL related bank interest. That means all those vouchers I want to extract because I have to check it out whether the entry happened properly or not. What is the other leg of the bank interest? If that is the case, you know what you're going to do? First, you filter for bank interest. Then you take all these document numbers. Just put here the bank interest related document numbers. Then these all are the document numbers, right? Then with respect to all these documents, I have to extract the items. So what I need to do? Simple. How I need a formula for Saran, in the same way, I have to do a formula for the bank interest. So GL doc, let's put GL doc equal to VLOOKUP, look for this value where go to the GL, select all these documents. If it is available, then give me the same value. If not, any, just copy and paste. Same VLOOKUP function. Look whether this document number is available in this list. If it is available, give me the same value. If not, anywhere. Now, if I filter other than the any, these all of the entries belongs to the same document number. Control C, go here, now paste here. Check it out. These all are the entries with respect to bank interest. I can just check it out whether it is correctly posted or not. I think the other leg is everywhere the bank. So I can have a glance and I can immediately, okay, cross check that whether this particular GL is correct or wrong. Let's say I want to do the same job for freight. Now, if I want to do the same job for flight, what you're going to do? You have to do this job again. Now you have to go back to the daybook. Then you have to put the filter for flight. Then you have to copy all these document numbers. Then you have to paste here. Then you should do the VLOOKUP function. Oh my God, lot of work. How can we automate this entire job? Friends, I'm going to cover this for next 10 to 15 minutes. One of the very important topic for today's session. Please concentrate. So I'll just take this. This is manual method. Now let me take same thing. This is GL automation. What I'll be doing, let's take all these GLs, Control C, Control V, and I want to take a GL name here, Control C, Control V, right? And this is the daybook. I want to store this daybook into my, now let me give a gap here. So I just select this, go to the data. I want to send this data into my Power Query. So this entire data, I want to use it as a source. Let's go to the Power Query. Once you click this, it is asking me to create a table. This cannot create a table to remove the auto filter. Okay. Are there any auto filter? One second. Oh, I have to remove the auto filter. Okay. Now let me select this data. I want to send this data to my Power Query. I don't want to do anything on this. I just want to change this name as a daybook. Daybook. That's all. Now I want to close and load to. I don't want to get back this data into my Excel. Just create as a connection. That's all. Now you know what happened. My entire daybook got stored at the backend in the Power Query. Now what I'll be doing? Simple. I just select these two. I'll just select these two. I'll go to the data. I'll send these two values also into Power Query. So this freight is the one I want to consider. So this is GL, right? Close and load to. I don't want to get back into my Excel. I want to just create as a connection. Friends, I did nothing except taken this table and this table into the Power Query at the back. First, what I need to do now, I have to extract all the freight related entries. That is what even manually we did, right? First, I have filtered the freight and I have got all the documentation number. Then what I'll be doing, there is a beautiful concept in the Power Query called merge. I'll just go here. I'll combine the queries. I'll merge it. You know which queries I want to merge? I want to merge my daybook. I want to merge my GL. In fact, daybook is having so many columns. GL is only having one column. So the common column between these two is this one and this one, right? So if you check it out here, the selection matches 78 of 12,246 rows. It's okay. Once I click OK, one more query will come at the back end. This query will only have freight related, right? Now what I'll be doing, I'll simply extract this. Now if I just click OK, this is the freight, right? Now I want to filter everything except the null. Let me click OK. It has taken only the freight, right? So there are many ways you can do this. You can only get the values which are there in both sides. Okay, now this is one method. Now let me just close it, delete it, discard. There are two ways you can do the same. Either I can take this as a base, I can check it out how many times this value is coming here, you can extract, or else you can take this as a base, look into this table, anything is fine. Now let me look into the second method. Go to the merge. Now I want to take table. I want to take GL. Now you take this, you take this. Instead of left outer, now let me take full outer. Sorry. Let me take inner. Only matching items. Wherever freight is matching here, please only consider those values. If I click OK, check it out. Only freight related values you got. I hope everyone got the point. Now my job is very simple. I'll simply select this column, remove all other columns because I don't want anything. Now simply rename this as GL document. Obviously, by just seeing once you may not understand everything, but this I'm in today's session, I'm just trying to give you a point When you start focusing, at least start making your hands dirty from today, going into the power query, doing some R&D. By the time when the audits come seriously, you can do small automations on your own. Now, this is nothing but manually I filter, filed, I extracted the document number. Exactly the same I have taken, nothing more, nothing less. Now, what I want, all these documents related information, I want to get from the daybook. Now, what I'll be doing, I want to do the merge again. Do one more merge. You know what I want? I want to take this document number, right? You can take daybook, you can take this as a document number, select this column. Wherever this document number is matching from this, the entire values will come. You can simply take inner join. Let me click OK, right? This is what my final data. This is GL sample daybook, right? Now I want to close and load to. I don't want to get into my Excel, close and load as only connection. Okay. Now this is the only data I want to get. Now right click, load to. I want to load to my table. I want to get from here. Now you can simply click OK. So the entire freight related entries you got here. Check it out. Every transaction will have freight. Now let me change this date form, right? Every transaction, see, transaction number 3 is having a freight, transaction number 261 having a freight, transaction number 277 having a freight, so that I can analyze whether properly freight has been booked or not. Now, this is an automation. If I want to see the cash related, I can simply go and put here data. Do you think only cash related entries will come? Absolutely. Refresh. Wow. Now I got all the cash related entries. You know what I'll be doing now out of this data? Now you can filter out the cash, you can copy this, you can paste out, you can paste special values. These all are the ledgers which are connected to the cash. That means I can apply now to 69 ST, to 69 all other related where cash related tax audit is there. I can simply start using the sum if function and so on. Okay, in this case, all relating to the GST and other sales. So nothing, no items are there. For example, there is a person called XYZ, right? You can take all the dates start from 1st January 2019, sorry, 1st April 2019 and so on. Now you can drag this down till 31st March 2020. Just as an example, friends, I'm just giving you an idea how to verify these things. Once you do the automation, remaining everything is simple. Now XYZ is one of the, okay, vendor. Now what I can simply do, I can use a sum ifs function because on a particular day, wherever there is a XYZ, total is more than 10,000, I can check it out. Okay, and I can report it to my tax audit. So I can simply use sum ifs function. What is the sum ifs function? Look into this column. Which column? I have to total the values which are there in the debit column, right? From here, let me take till the end, or else you can simply take this. Look into the debit column. I want to check date column whether this date is matching with this date. Then again look into my GL name, cross check whether this GL name is matching with XYZ. A simple sum is function, total the values from the debit by looking into the daybook date column. If it is matching to this date, then look into the same table for the GL column. If it is matching to this GL, if I enter, copy and paste, everywhere zero. That means no cash transaction happened which is more than 10,000. For example, if I go here, now let me change a couple of values. Now this is XYZ. Now this is a cash. Now if you just go here, check it out. On third, there is a payment which is greater than 10,000. If you want on top of this, you can put one more if function. I can simply have a if function, or else you can put separately equal to if this is greater than or equal to greater than or equal to 10,000, then check. If not, okay, just copy and paste. See, you got check. For example, there is one more place. Now let's say this is XYZ. Check it out. This is also check. There is one more place. Let's say XYZ. Check it out. This is also check. There is one more place, maybe XYZ. Let's say this is 1 second. Yeah, anywhere you can just check it out, so you can put wherever you want one more items. Whenever it is more than 10,000, you will just get the check, otherwise okay. Now you can try the same thing with the second one, you can try the same thing with the third customer, and so on. These are different methods we can use it, but for looking into each and every individual customer, it's very difficult. So what I can simply do, I can just do the automation using the Power Query. Then this entire work also I can make it automate. I can just start selecting each customer wise so that automatically this entirely can be built. That is what using the Power Query, we can extract the GL. The last topic I'll just cover and I'll close. Fuzzy lookup concept. What is this fuzzy lookup? Fuzzy lookup is something, let me open the Excel file. Our traditional Excel having so many limitations. For example, if I want to get the amount for the vendor, each vendor, then what I can simply do, just now I have covered one simple function. We look for this value in this table, get me the second column value as an answer. So that wherever mind tree is there, with respect to the mind tree value, I'll get it. Wonderful. I can simply copy and paste. Check out, so many are any. Why? Tata Consultancy Services is here. Tata Consultancy Services is even here. But still it is NA. Why? Not sure. Emphasis is here. Even emphasis is also here. Then even KPIT Technologies here. KPIT Technologies is also here. But friends, as per the Excel, Saran is not equal to Saran. Excel cannot match these two values. Saran even not equal to Saran space. Both are not same. Even Saran Kumar is not equal to Kumar Saran. Both are different as per the Excel. But many a times, this especially in case of GSTR 2-year reconciliation with respect to books. In the book, the invoice number may be something different as per our tally data. But when client files his GSTR1, he might have kept separate invoice number, maybe a small spell mistake or character mistake. If that is the case, how can the fuzzy lookup makes my work entirely simple? It's very simple. What I'll do, I'll just copy this, I'll paste here. First, I'll only introduce this topic. Later, you can explore more when you have a time at home or at office. First, let me take this data. As I told you earlier, simply take this data into the Power Query. I want to take this into my Power Query. Let me just put it as a master data. I don't want to get this data into Excel. Just load it to the connection. That is sufficient, right? So now this data also, please take it. You can just take this data and send it to Power Query. Click that button. Now this is nothing but okay, sub table. Now just close and load to. Now only create as a connection. Let me click OK. Now I told you, right? Merge is nothing but a VLOOKUP in my Excel. I can simply go to the data. I can just go here, combine tables, merge. I want to check my sub table and I want to combine the master table where vendor name is matching. I click OK, once I click OK, then all the details from the master will come. But anyway, vendor name is already there. I don't want that. I just want only amount. Now let me just close and load to, where I want to load. I want to load from in the same Excel from F1 cell. But Sharon, this is the only one even we got earlier by using VLOOKUP function. Check it out. Even in the VLOOKUP function, these all we got any. That means even Excel is not identifying in this case. Excel will identify. Wait. Now what I'll be doing, I'll just go to the same queries. Now let me double click these queries of merge. Now if I go to the source, it will take me to the same place, whatever the job I have done. You'll find a beautiful checkbox here that is use fuzzy matching to perform. Once I click this, it's going to do the fuzzy matching. Now it is asking, now how many values you want to combine? Let's say I can have a threshold. If I put 0.9, that means 90% it will match. Let's click OK. It is error because, one second, I'll tell you. This is a text. Because in the Power Query, the data types are most important. So in the subtable, this is a text, right? When I just go to the merge, now this is the data. Now when I just close and load, every value appeared here. Check it out. How it got filled up? Because I said 90% when both are matching, then you can take it. Now let us see whether it's a 90% or not. This is Infosys. This is Info Systems Private PVT Ltd. Do you think this is 90% matching? No. Now if I refresh this, check it out. Info Systems Private Limited is not matching. Now let me take just Info Systems. Info Systems. Check it out whether is it 90%. No, it's not even 90%. Now what I'll do, I will change the threshold. Instead of keeping 90%, now I'll keep it maybe, let me click the settings. I will keep it maybe 60%. Then I'm sure this time it will match. No, let me just take it. If I keep it here 50%, if I just click OK, even then it's not matching. So because how it is taking the algorithm is based on the backend, how it got working in the Power Query. So Info Systems, nowhere it's matching, even 50% you have taken. Because there is an extra space and there are so many extra characters. It's not even 50%. Now let me reduce this little even down, maybe 30%. It's not suggestible because 30% means everything will match. Because Saranya, everything will match. Now let's take maybe 30%. Even 30% similarity is there. You please take it. Of course, this time it got merged. It matched. Check it out. Now, Info Systems is matching with Infosys. So where this is useful, when you think that there may be a spelling mistakes in the vendor name, one or two spell mistakes. In that case, you can try with 90% first, then 80%, then 70%, and so on. But friends, there may be a chance you may even go wrong also, because there may be a company called ABC Systems Private Limited. Then one more company is there, ABC Systems PVT Ltd. If Excel matches these two, there is no problem. If there is one more company, ABC System Consulting PVT Limited, if you take 60% or 70%, both will match. Okay, maybe in a real term, these two are different. So you must be very careful, but there is a lot of power in your Excel itself. If you think you can even automate the entire job of the tax audit, but we need to have a patience. We need to understand the logics first. So you need to combine your domain knowledge with respect to the technology knowledge. Then once you combine these two together, I'm sure the quality will get improved like anything. That's all I think for today's session. If any question is there, maybe last topic I missed it, this one. This is basically linking our Excel to Word. I'm sure most of you maybe already know. It's very simple. When I have some data here, let's take the same data. When I have this data, let me take my Word document. This is useful in case of preparing the annual returns when you want to take your balance sheet or P&L. Then I can, let's say this is the data I want to consider, copy, paste, special. Normally what we do, if you want to take the data into the Word document, we'll do Control V. But if you do Control V, everything is fine. But if I change the data here, let's say this is only 10,000. Do you think 10,000 will change here automatically? No, because this is just a hard coded Control V. For your information, how our Excel is having a paste special, in the same way our Word document is also having a paste special. You can copy this data, go to the Word, paste special. You can find a paste link, click this, click OK. Exactly the same data appeared. But are you finding back and grid lines are there? So if I don't want to grid lines, then what I can simply do, I can go to the view tab, just remove the grid lines. Your grid lines has gone. Let's say if I change the value here 99999, even this value got changed. Let's say if I change the format here as a background yellow, this will also change automatically. This is very much helpful in case of linking your working file with a Word document, especially in case of annual return, director's report, any of the financial statement where you want to present it to a Word document after the Excel file, right? For your information, this is understanding based on the path. If you change the path of your Excel file, you will get an error. If that is the case, just right click and update the link. Once you update the link, everything will appear properly. That's all, Ramu sir. We can go for question and answer, maybe another 5 to 10 minutes.
Members can ask questions.
Sir, anyone go ahead with the question and answer.